What's up guys, it's me, Janne here, and somewhere close to Christmas, my friend Daniel had a stream about DiRT Rallycross, and in that stream he drove with the Lancia Delta S4 Group B Rallycross car. And ever since that I've been itching on to get my hands on the DiRT Group B Rallycross cars, but I've just been slightly busy. But yeah, I was finally able to find some time to compare them and do a bit of a testing between all those four cars. And yeah, now I'm going to show you my tests with the four cars. And yeah, the Daniel's stream. Oh fuck, I'm so Finnish. The Daniel. Just alongside with the Colin and the Michael. But yeah, Daniel's stream will be linked in the description if you want to get your DiRT Group B Rallycross vibes up as well. But let's begin the video. So here are the four amazing beasts from the Group B Rallycross category in DiRT, and let's go through all them. This is the MG Metro 6R4 Rallycross car, and this has almost a 3-liter engine, V6 configuration, and it gives us 380 brake horsepower, which is the least of the four, and this car weighs 1040 kilos, which makes it the second heaviest of the category, and this is the only naturally aspirated car of the four, so this probably will handle slightly better or will be easy to drive, since the power output is more constant throughout the revs compared to the massive turbo lags from these other three. And yeah, second car is the Peschel 205 T16, which is the newest of them all. This is from 1990 compared to the others being from 1986 and 87. And yeah, 1.8 liter engine, straight 4 configuration, and 480 brake horsepower, which is the most out of the four, and it weighs only 910 kilos. So yeah, the power to weight ratio is really amazing on this one. And yeah, as I said before, this one is turbocharged, unlike the Metro. And then we have the Ford RS200, which also has a 1.8 liter turbocharged engine with the straight 4 configuration. And yeah, this has the power output of 450 brake horsepower, and this is the heaviest of the bunch, with its weight of 1080 kilos, which is quite the same amount as your mom. And as just like the others, this has a 5-speed manual gearbox as well, and from the year 1986. And last but not least, the beast Lancia Delta S4 Rallycross, and another 1.8 liter engine, straight 4 configuration, turbocharged. And apparently there's no supercharger in the Rallycross variant compared to the rallying version, which is turbo and supercharged. And yeah, this also has the power output of 450 brake horsepower, just like the Ford RS200, but compared to the Ford, this is almost 200 kilos lighter, since this is the lightest of the bunch, being only 890 kilos. And yeah, another 5-speed manual gearbox car. And yeah, this one has the livery of the Finnish Rallycross legend Matti Alamäki, so this is the most closest to my heart out of the four. But yeah, let's begin with this one. Let's take it for a spin around the Elias track. Yeah, if you didn't realize it, the venue for this test will be Elias. Here we are at the start with the MG Metro 6R4. It has the unique sound that all the rallying MG Metros have, at least the Group B versions. And yeah, this is a really nice car to drive in the corners, since the natural aspiration gives us a quite constant delivery of power. It's not like that we would have somewhat close to 200 bhp up until 7,000 revs, and then it would kick you in the face like a force of 6,000 elephants. So yeah, it's really nice and predictable to drive because of that. And yeah, the car seems to be, well, yeah, it lands quite solidly over the jump, and almost lost it there, but luckily was able to regain control before anything bad happened. The car is quite understeery on corner exits and in general with this setup. So for example here, yeah, I need to throw it in more in order to go fast. But yeah, the understeer is really much present through the corners, so you have to really slide the car through, and then it will straighten itself up with the understeer on the exit. So, but yeah, surprisingly easy to drive, mostly thanks to the natural aspiration, and yeah, it's really predictable and fun. And yeah, pretty much the only minus is the lack of power and the understeering nature of the car with the default setup, but that will be gone if we were to tune the car. On to the next one. And this time we're at the start with the Peschel 05. You have to stay on the high revs to get the most out of the turbocharged engine. And yeah, let's take it a bit carefully in the beginning. A slight after bump from the landing of the jump, but still quite a solid land. And yeah, when the boost pressure reaches the almost, well, when the boost pressure goes above 2.5 bars, it's just really useless, since it starts spinning the wheels, and then you have to upshift, and again you will be somewhere close to 1 bar or so. So yeah, it's a really tricky car to drive, since you can't basically use all of the boost, since it's just starting to spin the wheels, and that's slow. Yeah, this car has a tendency to be understeer as well. Don't know if it's just a symptom of the Dirt 4 syndrome or what, but again, you have to be quite oversteering on the entry in order to sort of like compromise or balance the understeer that comes throughout the corner. But yeah, you can't be that fast around this hairpin because of that. And again, I think that it can be fixed with the detailed setup, but that's not something that we will do now. But yeah, maybe a slightly harder car compared to the Metro, since yeah, there is the struggle of having too much boost on the car for these tires. So yeah, if you could adjust the boost levels, then this could probably be a bit easier to drive while still being almost as fast as well. But yeah, that's all for this car, and on to the next one. Here we are in the bright red cockpitted Ford RS 200 at the start, and that's the green light. And yeah, I really like the sound of this car, amazing. And yeah, on this one we can't see the boost pressures or anything, so Yeah, that's a bit of a shame, so we can't compare it with the Peugeot in that matter, but yeah, seems to be a nice car with the also seems to have a slight tendency to understeer, but seems to be a bit less compared to the other two that we've tried already. And also the gearbox is a bit shorter ratio and really nicely handles the jump there. And this car is quite responsive and behaves a lot better around that hairpin than the other two cars that we've... Alright, we don't have a sixth gear. But yeah, this car behaves really well, and in my opinion it's the easiest out of the three cars so far. And there doesn't seem to be such a overkill amount of turbo pressure or boost pressure, since you can go all the way up to the revs without any like large amount of wheel spin. So yeah, it's so far my favorite out of the four. No, out of the three that I've driven so far. And behaves really nicely. Over the curbs as well, no problem with that whatsoever, as I demonstrated right there. But yeah, that's all that I have to say about this beauty. Let's move to the last but not least car, which is the godlike Lancia Delta S4. And last but not least, the beautiful, beastly, godlike Lancia Delta S4. This thing shoots off the line like a rocket. And is really, really oversteering. Oh my god. Holy balls, that rear end jumped out more than Michael Jordan. And yeah, can't really tell much about the car yet. I have to drive it for a bit. Seems to have the same case of understeer as the Peugeot and the MG Metro, so understeer wise the Ford RS200 is the best handling car. And yeah, this car really doesn't like the curbs apparently. And also going over the crest in the first corner seems to be a bit of a trouble for the car as well. So yeah, this is definitely the most difficult out of the four to drive, at least for me, since it's really, really tail happy on the turn in and on the brakes on this default setup as I just demonstrated, but then understeers like crazy out of the corners. But yeah, it's also a bit good thing that it's quite slidey on the way in, so you can use that to counter the understeer a bit. And yeah, this seems to be also the one that handles the jumps the worst. Even on that there's a slight after bump, and doesn't seem to have the same boost pressure issues as the Peugeot of having too much boost. So yeah, definitely the most trickiest to drive with the default setup. But yeah, I think I should do some setups for this car, so all of these could be drivable. I mean, I've driven the career events in the game with this car, so it's possible to get it drivable, but it takes a bit of work. But yeah, now all the cars have been tested and demonstrated for you guys, so now it's time to do the hot laps. And before we start those, I'll explain quickly how I'm going to do the hot laps. Yeah, that's all for this beautiful and beastly machine. So yeah, now the first impressions of the cars have been told and tested, and now the next thing is to do a 6-lap practice session with each car, and I'm counting the fastest lap of each car from that session for this comparison. And next up I'll be showing you the fastest lap of each car. So yeah, let's go in the order of presentation of the first impressions as well. So let's begin with the MG Metro. Start of the lap, MG Metro 6R4, and yeah, cleanly and really tidy over the crest, and yeah, not sliding that much around the left-hander either. A bit worse landing on that jump than compared to the first impressions video or test. And yeah, it's easy to, well, after driving a while, it's easy to sort of counter the understeer and take it into consideration while driving. And yeah, last jump, calming the car down for the last corner, and across the line we go. And now it's time for the Peschel hot lap. And yeah, this car was really difficult to drive at maximum speed, since I don't know why, actually. Really close to the barrier there as well, and it felt like that this car lost quite a bit of time while staying in its place, spinning the wheels on corner exits and such. So yeah, with a different setup this car would be a shit ton quicker. And yeah, now coming to the second to last corner and flying off the jump really uncontrollably, and the understeer really kicking in there, and across the line we go with that. And across the line we go and start the lap with the Ford, which was easily the easiest car to control in the corners, especially when driving in anger. This was the car that was, yeah, just the easiest, even though it is the heaviest, so it's a bit weird. But yeah, there's less understeer and it's easier to manage the level of under and oversteer in this car as well. And yeah, throwing the car into the second to last corner, jumping on the balanced land, and then hugging the apex before crossing the line with the Ford. And now for the hot lap with the Lancia. There we go, cross the line and really tidy around the first corner and the second one as well. Really like taking my grandma to church, not sliding much because that's where you lose time. But yeah, the car is probably like dating an Latino, since yeah, it's amazing when you can make it do what you want, but it has its own outbursts that can damage multiple people around you. And a beautiful slide through there, second last corner, and a surprisingly good jump as well. And then the understeer kicks in and I have to slow down a bit, but that's the lap with the Lancia. And the winner is Lancia Delta S4 Group B Rallycross car. And yeah, here are the results, overlaying this beautiful footage of the Lancia. And yeah, quite surprising that the Peugeot was over a second slower than the Lancia, and almost as slow as the MG Metro, which was the weakest on paper. But surprisingly, the Ford was the second quickest, despite being the heaviest of them all. And yeah, that's about it. And yeah, that was the video. To be honest, I was slightly surprised to see how bad the Peugeot was on the default setup, especially considering that it's usually quite high up the leaderboards on the Group B leaderboards. But yeah, I think that's all for now. If you had anything you want to say about the topic, please comment below. And yeah, that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on Sunday at least, if not earlier, with the second race of Rally Autosarja in Assetto Corsa. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.